Hi, I'm Reverend Paula Skiles with Unity Church of San Marcos, and I'm welcoming everyone online this morning to be with you. We are having our musician David Rosenblad begin our service, and Linda Gillespie, our licensed Unity teacher, will be offering our service and our message today. So please join us, and if you feel good, just enjoy, sit your feet up, and then enjoy your service, because everyone here will be. Thank you for being with us. All right, David, we're going to turn this over to you. If you give me a moment,
Yes. Linda, do you want to say anything about this before I play it? Or?
No.
Nope.
It speaks for itself.
This is an old Unity standard here, so kind of a beautiful song about what we see open our eyes. Rolling?
Page 72 in your hymnal.
Yes, page 72. Sorry, I didn't announce that. I think we had it out that way. Open my eyes that I may see glimpses of truth thou hast for me. Place in my hands the wonderful key. Thou shalt unclasp and set me free. Silently now I wait for thee. Ready, my God, thy will to see. Open my eyes, illumine me. Spirit divine. Open my ears that I may hear voices of truth thou sendest clear. And while the weight goes fall on my ear, everything false will disappear. Silently now I wait for thee. Ready, my God, my will to see. Open my ears, illumine me. Spirit divine. Open my mouth and let me hear gladly the warm truth everywhere. Open my heart and let me prepare love thy children thus to share. Silently now I wait for thee. Ready, my God, my will to see. Open my heart, illumine me. Spirit divine.
Thank you, David. That was wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's glorious. Good morning, everyone.
good morning.
Goodness, it's good to see the chairs full. This is great. Yay. My talk title today is Open, Open, Open. Eric Butterworth, in his Discover the Power Within You, in the prologue, he shares a Hindu legend. And it goes like this. There was a time when all men were gods, but they so abused their divinity that Brahma, the chief god, decided to take it away from them and hide it where they would never find it again. The place to hide it became the big question at that point. Brahma called the lesser gods together in council to consider this question, where to hide it. They suggested burying man's divinity deep in the earth. Brahma said, no, that will not do, for man will dig deep down in the earth and find it. So they suggested that we sink his divinity in the deepest ocean. Brahma said, no, not there either. For man will learn to dive, excuse me, into the deepest waters. We'll search out the ocean bed and we'll find it. Then the lesser gods suggested taking it up to the highest mountain and hiding it there. But Brahma said, no. Man will eventually climb every mountain until it is found and take it up for themselves. Then Brahma said, here's what we will do with man's divinity. We'll hide it deep within himself, for he will never look for it there. Ever since then, the legend concludes, man has been going up and down the earth, climbing, digging, diving, exploring, searching for something he has already within himself. 2,000 years ago, a man named Jesus found it and shared its secret. But in the movement that sprang up in his name, the divinity of man has been the best kept secret of the ages. The song that we just sang, "Open My Eyes That I May See," has been on my mind for days. And last week it was a congregational song at Unity of New Braunfels. And when something comes into my mind and inspires me, I know better than to argue with it. I may not know what to do with it, but I don't argue with it anymore. Used to argue with it. But this little song is one I remember from my childhood in the Methodist Church. And the last part of it, we'll get to the chorus of it in a minute, but that's what intrigued me. And what I know today is that it's because it didn't fit with what I was being taught. This little song was written by a woman named Clara Scott just before her untimely death in a accident caused by a runaway horse that ultimately caused the accident, which was a buggy, which involved a buggy. When I found that out, everything just opened for me. Remembering what was going on the spiritual level at that time in history. She was born in 1841 and she died in 1895, just after she wrote this song. And that was about the period of time that Charles and Myrtle Fillmore became deeply entrenched in being true seekers of truth. Truth with a capital T. This is what we in Unity sometimes see as the beginning of New Thought, the New Thought movement. But according to the book of Ecclesiastes, excuse me, chapter 1, verse 9, there is no new thing under the sun. So, let's take a look at what Clara Scott's hymn has to teach us today when we look at some of the terms metaphysically. Open my eyes that I may see glimpses of truth thou hast for me. Place in my hand the wonderful key that shall unclasp and set me free. I have adapted that for my purposes. My eyes are open that I may see the truth that you have for me. I am aware of the wonderful key I hold in my hand that will unlock my self-imposed prison and set me free. That's what that says to me today. Because it acknowledges the divinity within. I don't want a glimpse of truth. I want my eyes to be open to see all that God has for me. And I hold the key to unlock this self-imposed prison that I have built with my error thinking and false beliefs that no longer serve me. Emily Cady, in her first chapter of Lessons in Truth, addresses the subject of bondage or freedom. She says, everyone believes themselves to be in bondage to the things of the flesh. I changed the wording of that statement to be gender correct. We are always standing at a point of choice. Bondage or freedom. When I changed that wording to be gender correct, I experienced the bondage of flesh that Katie is referring to. A little further in that chapter, Katie gives us an adaptation of Exodus 3:7 through 8. Today and all the days, he has been saying to us, to his children, I have surely seen the affliction of you who are in the darkness of ignorance, and have heard you cry by reason of your sickness, sorrow, and poverty. And I am now come down to deliver you out of this suffering, to bring you to a good land, unto a land flowing with good things. She goes on, it may or it may not be here in this phase of life, but sometime, somewhere, every human being must come to himself and go to the Father. I agree with Emily Cady. Each of us must, sooner or later, learn to stand with God. Nothing else prevails. That is the key to unlock our self-imposed freedom and set us free. For many of us, we have grappled with the belief that we are not only the slaves of circumstances, but also servants of the Most High. Neither of those things are true. We are neither of those things. It is time for us to wake up to the fact that we are not servants, but children. And if not children, then heirs, as it says in Romans 8:17. It is through Christ, the indwelling Christ, that we are to receive all that God has and is, as much or as little as we can or dare to claim. We have come to a place now where in our search for truth, capital T, truth, must no longer be for rewards. It must no longer be our seeking a creed to follow. But it must be our living a life. Every right thought we think, our every unselfish word or action is bound by immutable laws to be fraught with good results. But in our walk, we must learn to lose sight of the outcome. We must instead seek to be the truth consciously, to be love, to be wisdom, to be life, and let the results take care of themselves. Living the life of spirit instead of the old self means we need to seek always to have more and more of the Christ self, of meekness and love incorporated into our life. No matter how awful the situation appears, God is real there. God is real in that situation. And we have to open our eyes to see that goodness, that Godness in it. If we courageously persist in seeing only God in it all, it shall be invariably turned to our advantage. Emily Cady tells us the very circumstances in your life that seem heartbreaking will turn to joy before your eyes if you will steadfastly refuse to see anything but God in them. All help must come from within, from the divinity within that Jesus found within himself and shared with us. He told us that we are children of God, filled with the Spirit of God. He went so far as to say that we can do anything that he did, and greater things as well. As I said earlier, my eyes are open that I may see the truth thou hast for me. I am now aware of the wonderful key that I hold in my hand that will unlock my self-imposed prison and set me free. When I raise my perspective of a situation to the consciousness level that allows me to see the situation from God's perspective, through God's eyes, all things change. In the process of raising my consciousness, I surrender control to the outcome. I am no longer in charge of the situation. God is. One of the things that I have learned is that I don't have to like the situation I am in, but it is imperative that I like who I am in the situation. I have that little sticky note on my computer. I read it every day, sometimes several times a day, because that, for me, is the reminder that I need. One of the things that allows me to like myself in any situation is to take time every day for quiet and meditation. In meditation lies the secret of power. No one can grow in either spiritual knowledge or power without it. Practice the presence of God just like you would practice music. David didn't become this wonderful musician by sitting on his hands with his mouth closed. It doesn't work that way.
It's the exact opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it is with meditation. Practicing the presence of God. Daily meditation alone with God focuses the divine presence within us and brings it to our consciousness. In Mark 6:31, we are invited to come away by ourselves and rest for a while. Come away by yourselves and rest for a while. It is the only way we will ever gain definite knowledge, true wisdom, newness of experience, perseverance of purpose, or power to meet the unknown, which must come in daily life, as we all know. Rest for a while. Doing is secondary to being. Doing is secondary into being. And we come to the chorus. Clara Scott says, "Silently now I wait for thee. Ready, my God, thy will to see. Open my eyes, illumine me. Spirit divine." That's the phrase that stuck with me as a child. Open my eyes, illumine me. Spirit divine. That wasn't what I was being taught, but that hung. Thank you, Myrtle. There it is. The silence that makes seeing worth waiting for. We are ready to see God's will for us. Our eyes are open, and we are illuminated, shining with the divine Spirit within us. In October, we'll look at the second verse of this hymn that involves the ears. As the talk title was presented to me, I was reminded of an old television commercial that some of you might remember. It was from Mervyn's retail store, and it was their big sale ad on TV. It showed a woman running up to the door of the store, pressing her face against the glass door and her hands against the door, saying, "Open, open, open!"
Must be a Black Friday commercial.
It would be a great one. But Mervyn's is gone, and but that I had to laugh at Spirit. What? But it works, because there was obviously something inside that store that she had a strong desire to have at a price she could afford. How often have we approached a workshop, a seminar, a class, a retreat with the same zeal as the woman in the commercial for what it could bring to us, only to discover a few weeks or months later that what we walked away from no longer served us? I see heads nodding. Yeah, it's happened to all of us at one time or another, because we were looking in the wrong place for our divinity. We were digging in the dirt. We were climbing the mountain. We were surveying the ocean floor, looking for something that was right here all the time. In the silence, with one and only one focus, God. We wait for God's will to be revealed. And that's where our divinity lies, deep within us. My adaptation of the chorus is very simple. Silently now I wait for thee. Ready, my God, thy will to see. My eyes are open. Illumine me, Spirit divine, as I let my light shine.
Beautiful. I'm actually going to change some of what I was going to play leading into meditation because of your message. I'm going to do a little mashup. I think we need to hear a verse from that song again. And I'm going to mash it up with a praise song written by Paul Beloshny called Open the Eyes of My Heart. So. Open my eyes that I may see glimpses of truth thou hast for me. Place in my hand the wonderful key. Thou shalt unclasp and set me free. Silently now I wait for thee. Ready, my God, thy will to see. Open my eyes, illumine me, Spirit divine. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see all. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see all. To see my life opened up, shining in the light of your glory. Pour out your light and love as we sing holy, holy, holy. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see it all. See my life opened up, shining in the light of your glory. Pour out your light and love as we sing holy, holy, holy. Hare, hare, hare. Hare, hare, hare. Holy, holy, holy. I want to see you. Hare, hare, hare. Hare, hare, hare. Hare, holy, holy. I want to see all. I want to see all. I want to see it all.
And as we move into this time of meditation, I invite you to breathe. If it's comfortable, close your outer eyes so that you may truly see with your inner eyes. Take another really deep breath. One more, please. As we consider the words of the chorus of this song, for it is in this silence that we wait for God. Ready to see God's will for each of us. Open my eyes. Illumine me. Spirit divine. I'm going to ask you to sit with that for a couple of minutes. Ready, my God, thy will to see. we open our consciousness to a higher level. So that we may see all that God has for us. I invite you now to take another deep breath as we begin to bring our consciousness back into this time in this space. I leave you with an affirmation. I practice being more open. As I am more open, I will see more clearly, hear more accurately, and feel more deeply. I am open. I am open. I am open. And so it is.
This is a little song about seeing in your heart, letting it shine through your eyes, and healing from that. It's called In the Window, and it's originally by yours truly, David. I saw it in the sky, asking questions slowly now. I did not ask why. Open up my eyes. Now the light through the window was the light through the sky. This window opens slowly now, and source will answer why. Let your light shine. Let it shine before all, that they too may see your good word. the light through the sky. Thank you. Thank you. That one's coming out soon, with a series of songs coming out this fall. So.
Yeah, wonderful.
Thank you for letting me share.
Thank you, David, and thank you, Linda. We are so blessed with your presence and your gifts, and we are extremely grateful. For those of you who are online, we're glad you could be with us today, and come join us again for the second part of Linda's series the next time that she comes to our service. Thank you, and be with us. Enjoy. Amen.